Don't you want revenge on the people who didn't believe in you? Don't you want revenge on your enemies? Don't you want revenge on everybody who abandoned you? People who thought you were worth nothing and worthless? Don't you want them to finally feel the sting of regret? Don't you want them to come across your Instagram profile after a few short years, see the life you're living and the man you've become, and to hate themselves? Don't you want your exes begging? Nothing makes me happier than the girls I haven't seen in years popping up again begging for another shot. There's nothing more beautiful than them messaging you. Been a while. Fucking skank. Shut up. It certainly has. That's winning. And you can win one way. Success is the only possible route to revenge. And if you go through life without taking revenge on those who wronged you, you're a perpetual perma victim.
Yeah, and also it's legal, clean, happy revenge. I mean, people are vengeful people, and you hear all these stupid stories of idiots or murdering their old friends, or people beating people up who owe them money, or people, attacking women who don't like them, people shutting up their school. This is a misdirected use of force. It is a misdirected use of force. The fucking losers, and that's what they are, losers who Andrew and I hate and do not condone. The losers who do things like shoot up their school. All right, now you're in prison for the rest of your life or dead. You misdirected your anger. Because let me tell you something. You didn't like the football players who picked on you. You didn't like the women who rejected you. I get that you hated school, but the clean, legal, happy way to live the rest of your life in joy and get revenge is to become successful. If the skinny guy who got picked on for being whatever he is in high school somehow became a banking executive with millions of dollars and big arms and a six-pack and a luxury fucking Maybach with a driver to drive him around in, 99% of those student athletes who made no money, all of those women who got fat and got ugly, will be like, I went to school with that guy.
That's the revenge, gentlemen. If you're not out here becoming successful to get revenge on the people who didn't believe on you, you're a perma victim who is nothing but a prey for predators. Are you going to live 70 long years with nobody who ever wrongs you regretting that decision? You're going to be 70 years old and everybody who ever treated you badly is going to be glad they did, because they're going to think of you as a fucking scumbag. They're going to think, I'm glad I don't talk to him anymore. I'm glad I left that guy. I'm glad I never believed in him. And they're going to be right. And you don't have motivation to go try, so they feel some regret. You want to just be the laughing stock of everybody who's ever interacted with you ever, and you lack motivation somehow? You don't have a six-pack, big arms, a bunch of money, a Lambo. You have none of those things, and all the people who ever said you were a fucking loser were right? That's how you're going to live your life as a man? It is go time. It always has been. It always will be. It's perpetual. It's never ending. Do you understand the difference? Do you understand there is a new level of life to unlock? Do you understand that everybody who has ever wronged you is currently laughing at you? If you don't feel like going to the gym and you don't feel like joining the real world, you don't feel like making money, let me say this to you. Everybody who ever wronged you is currently laughing at you because you are not more successful than them. They were right. Everybody is laughing at you. Behind your back, you're a man. Have some dignity. Have some honor. Stand up. Everyone is making fun of you. And the only possible revenge is success. It should be all you think about. It should be all you do. It doesn't matter who the president is. Nobody's coming. No one's going to save you. You need to do it. Yourself. Just you. By yourself. Get up and do it. Otherwise, they're going to be right. You're going to lose your youth. You're going to lose your energy. You're going to lose your chi. You're going to become an old man. You're going to sink into a chair. And you would have lived your entire life as a fucking joke. And if that doesn't motivate you to try, if that will not motivate you to do something simple like press buttons on a keyboard to get a power level which will affect the money in your bank, then you are born to lose. The second best time to get started is now. You've missed a lot of chances, but there is still a chance left. And you can still save your bloodline. And you'll sit there and go, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then 16 minutes after this stream ends, you're going to be back on Steam, downloading COD like a dipshit. As a man who's climbed the mountain from the very bottom, from the lowest echelons of poverty, most of you are starting higher than I ever started. And now I'm at the top of the mountain looking down going, do these people just deserve to stay on the cliff face waiting for an avalanche to annihilate them? Maybe all the poor people who go, I don't want to be poor, I've tried hard, are lying. And if you get to know these people, they're not even nice people. And they snake their friends, and they lie, and they cheat, because good people who work hard seem to always win. By logical extension, anyone who has not won is not a good person who works hard. If every good person with a good work ethic ends up a winner, and you're not a winner, then you're not a good person with a good work ethic. Somewhere along the line, there's something wrong with you. And you come to me to motivate you. How the can I motivate losers like that? What do you want me to say? I gave you a guaranteed win. I gave you a way to make the money. I came on here every day and told you to work. I kept making the pot of gold closer and closer. No matter how close I dragged it, you just stood there like a dipshit. It doesn't matter how I preach. You losers are losers by design. No matter what situation I put you in, you'll find a way to lose. There is no other justification for your monumental impotence and lack of action besides the fact that your DNA enlaced with loserdom. You know what's so great about success, gentlemen, and I want you to keep this in mind. Success is the cure-all revenge to everything. You know that ex who really upset you, who broke your heart, and she has a new man now and she seems happy? She wouldn't be happy if you got a lot richer. If you got a bunch richer after you broke up, in better shape and famous, if she saw you and goes, wow, he didn't have a six-pack and arms like that when I was with him. He didn't drive a car like that when I was with him. Look at him now. I really wish I didn't leave him and go with this other guy. I wish I stayed with him. Before you know it, she'd hate her current husband and want you back. Success is the best revenge. It's the best revenge on your school teachers who didn't believe in you. It's the best revenge on your boss who used to boss you around. It's the best revenge on all those women who don't fucking reply to you anymore. It's the revenge on everyone. It's the cure-all, the silver bullet. The only thing you have to focus on is winning. If you win everything. You don't have to play all these little games. You don't have to try and get your ex back or upset her or be petty or send her stupid messages. You need to fucking get rich. Then all of the work is done. I automatically win in every scenario because of how successful I am. If I break up with a woman, I win. I win because she will never get another me. We win. Success is the ultimate final victory in all things. You have to wake up and go, you know what? I'm responsible for my health, and I'm responsible for my finances, and I'm responsible for my family, and I'm responsible for the decisions I make, and I'm responsible for my work ethic, and I'm responsible for my motivation, and I'm gonna win. That's all you have to do to be monumentally wealthy. And the reason it is so easy is because most people can't do that. If everyone could do that, then to win would be hard. Listen to me now. Listen in your heart. Listen to me. Because in 2 years, when I play this video back, you're going to hate yourself for your lack of action. And you have been fairly warned. So in 2 years, when I ask you why you did not act, you have no excuse. You need to work. You need to dedicate yourself. You need to take these next few months seriously. 2025 has to be a year of winners. You need to reflect on your life. You need to analyze all of the mistakes you've made. You need to stop wasting your time and stop relying on me for temporary bursts of motivation so that you can focus on something for once in your life. Now it is Darwinism. Those who do not benefit do not deserve to benefit. Act or fail. And the first time I had access visually to money, I knew I couldn't live as a second-class citizen any longer. I make all of this clear to people, and I say that money is a competency test. You simply need to want it. If you want it, you're going to get it. But you're not going to get anything in this life you do not want. If you want to get rich, I absolutely guarantee you will get rich. You have the entire world at your fingertips, and you're still not motivated, and you still don't care enough, and you're still not prepared to try something new. Sleep less and get rich. You either want it or you don't. Truthfully, if you want it, it's possible to fail. You have to wake up and you have to give a shit. You wasted your f***ing time. You could have been a somebody. Next time your girlfriend says, let's go movies, are you going to sit and think, wait, I went movies with a bitch in 2015 and now I'm not rich. Now this new bitch trying to make me go to a movie again. I'm still not rich, need money instead, and say, no, I'm locked in. I'm getting rich. Stand by me and enjoy the fruits of my labor or be gone.
I make millions and millions of dollars and people look at me and go, oh, but how? And I'm like, what do you mean how? Do the right things every day like you're supposed to, on time, every day, and life usually comes together. I really believe that. If you're disciplined and you have willpower, that can be applied to absolutely anything. I had willpower when I was playing chess. I had willpower when I was kickboxing to make sure I trained as hard as humanly possible to become a 4-time world champion. I had willpower when I had a house full of 75 women, when I refused to sleep with them and kept my mind focused on the money. So it's all about self-control and self-discipline and making sure that you are the center of your own universe. And a lot of people agree with this and a lot of people say this, but it's very rare to meet someone who's serious about it. If you're truly serious about brute willpower, you could achieve anything. And the reason nobody has discipline anymore is because it's not taught. Discipline isn't taught. And we also live in a world where everything and everybody is vying for our attention. There's ads everywhere. YouTube happens quickly. Kids are being raised with iPads. Like when I was a kid or you were a kid, we had a coloring book. How do you think you're going to keep his attention as he grows old? He's been entertained by some of the best software developers in the world permanently. So your attention's very, very difficult. And that's what discipline is, really. It's the ability to stay focused on one thing for a long period of time. Most people don't realize how bad their attention span is or how much discipline they lack until they really start to suffer from it. But as a man, if you don't have the ability to knuckle down and focus on something for a long time, life's going to punish you. And the reality of mastery and the reality of success is that it's not really a glamorous story. Like, how do you become the best boxer in the world? You do the same thing over and over for 15 years. Like, it's boring. That's what discipline is. So the idea that a lot of people want to be constantly entertained, well, that's why you need discipline. People want to be constantly motivated. I train every single day and I'm never motivated, but I'm disciplined. I've been training my whole life. I'm bored of it, but it's something that has to be done. So the idea of entertainment, the idea of motivation, these things are completely detrimental to discipline. I don't care if you feel like doing X. You must do X or you will stay a loser.
I always knew the answer to everything is raw action. The answer to everything has always been raw action. My dad had a tweet about this. He said that raw action solves all. You have to do something. Raw action solves. So when I was broke, I was never like, I'm poor. What do I do? It was, I'm poor. I have to do something. I've never had a lazy day. I've never skipped work, never missed an email, never had a day off, ever. And it all just adds up, and then monumental success comes and you get to laugh at everybody else. Ha ha ha. And life's great. Time is the ultimate currency. Time is money. Time is also strength and power and networks, connection. Time is everything. You can convert it. It's like malleable. Time is like Play-Doh.
Yeah.
You can turn it into anything. You can turn it into muscles if you go to the gym. Turn it into fighting prowess if you go to the fight gym. But people have all this time and they just mush around with it. And then they're like, don't know why I'm failing. I wish I was successful. I think the best way to predict the future is to study history. Let's go back the last 3,000 years. If you were a king, your life was pretty good. Or it was as good as life could be. To be a king, you had power, influence, money, and you lived a good version of life. If you weren't a king, you were an average man, a common man. And I think the world is cyclical. When you were a common man 2,000 years ago, you were effectively a slave, and life was terrible. That was the same all the way up to perhaps the 1930s, 1940s. Being a common man was pretty terrible. And perhaps it was the war and the massive loss of life. Perhaps it was something else, I'm not sure. But I kind of feel like there was a golden period between in the 50s to 60s to 70s to 80s, where being a normal, hardworking man, because life is cyclical, went from being a terrible existence to quite a good existence. In the 60s, you could be a normal man who worked in a factory, an unskilled labor job, and with one wage, you could afford a house, you could afford a car, you could afford to raise a family, your children would not be taught garbage in school.
Yep.
What matters most? Your wife loves you, you're respected as the breadwinner, your kids respect you, they listen to you, your house is clean, your house is safe, your car works, your life is good. And I feel like because it's cyclical, those good times are over and we're going back to where it was before. The kings have always been fine, and we always will. But if you're the common man, I think that the good days are over. Inflation is going to absolutely decimate your spending power. Now, inflation doesn't damage me. Inflation doesn't damage me because I own all the assets. Inflation just means Bitcoin and stock and land and houses all go up. Inflation means my car collection is no longer worth 110 million. It's now worth 300 million, whatever. Because inflation is meaning your money is worth less. And it's going to take more of your money to buy a house. And your wage is not going to increase at the rate of inflation. It's becoming more and more impossible for you to own assets. For us asset owners, inflation's fantastic. So the common man is about to get wrecked. I think inflation is going to make it exceptionally difficult. I think AI is going to make most jobs worth less than they already currently are. And you're going to, if you still have a job, it's going to be only managing the AI, which means you're going to be paid even less than you're currently paid. I think life is about to become exceptionally difficult for the people in the middle. I think the good times are over. I think it's going to go back to the feudal system of kings and serfs and peasants. And I think if you're a normal, average person now, you should feel deep fear and panic and understand that you have a certain amount of time to get into the higher bracket of the social class before these hard times come. And the most scary thing about these hard times is I feel like the gap is going to permanently close. In olden times, the chance of turning into anything more than a peasant when you were born a peasant was effectively zero unless there was chaos, unless there was a war or some great catastrophe for you to go to war, win, get a knighthood for bravery, get some land, and change your social mobility class. But there had to be war and chaos for you to escape. Because without the chaos, it's kind of like a prison break. When all the rules are being adhered to and the prison is operating as it should, you're stuck in your cell. But if there's a prison riot, you have a chance to escape, which means uncertainty and chaos are required for the difference in social mobility. But now I feel like with AI and certain other things, although there's going to be instability in the world, although they're going to continue to lie to us, I feel like the Matrix is going to gain enough control to keep us all in our pods or in our 15-minute cities, or our electric cars will be turned off, or we need to get our bug rations for the week so that there can't ever be enough true chaos for you to escape. There won't be true social mobility, and I feel like there's going to be a close. The people who are rich now, their bloodlines will be rich for a very long time. And the people who are poor now, if they don't get rich soon, in the next 10 years or so, they're never going to get rich. The prices of houses are going to continue to go up. Prices of land is going to continue to go up. Inflation is going to continue to happen. Your wages will not catch up. It's now or never.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible right now. How does the average person on an average wage buy a house in London right now? Yeah. It's almost impossible already. I think in the next 10 years, it's going to become truly impossible, and they're going to use AI to keep the gap closed. And what I find most interesting about that is the socio ramifications of the fact that I think this is quite pertinent to most average people. I think most normal people understand. If you were to ask them, how's the economy? They'd say, well, it's impossible. I can't pay for my bills. I can't pay to eat. I can't afford a house. I can barely afford my mortgage. I'm never going to get rich this way. They understand all of this, but they're not panicking. Why are you not panicking? The Titanic just hit the iceberg. You may not be in the water yet, but it's a certainty. Panic now. Don't panic at the end with everyone else as they go into the icy depths. No. I would argue if I was on the Titanic and it got struck by the iceberg, I could have got a lifeboat nice and early. Now, I wouldn't have, women and children first. I'm just using this as an analogy. I could have gone to the top deck when no one else was panicking and said, you know what, I want this. I want to go on a lifeboat. No, I don't feel comfortable on a lifeboat. And the guard probably would have said to me, you don't need to go on a lifeboat. It's no big deal. I said, yeah, but please just give me the lifeboat, or here's some money or whatever. I want this one. Give me this one. Everyone started panicking at the end. And people are sitting here now going, oh yeah, the economy's bad, but maybe if we vote for this person, who are you going to vote for that's going to put money in your pocket? Actually, nobody. Still got to pay your council tax, still a brokey, nobody cares. No one you vote for is going to change it. It's going to get worse. It's going to continue. And the boat is going to sink and you're not panicking. That's why, one of the things I try very hard not to do is become elitist. Because when you've come from the absolute bottom to the absolute top and you've done it all off of your own back and hard work and dedication and never missing a day, the only shortcut to life is to never miss a day, because sometimes you get lucky. And you'll never miss a lucky day if you try every day. And that's what people don't understand. If you never miss a day and you never don't try and you're always on time, and you try and improve every aspect of your life, and you're a professional, and you try and make sure that you analyze your decisions, you give yourself feedback, you don't make mistakes, you're not lazy. If you try and you make it to the top, you end up elitist because you look at the people down below and you're like, well, why didn't you try? I did. Oh, I did too. No, you didn't. That's a lie. Now you're lying to me, and that annoys me. This is what's scary about it, because I'm from a Luton council estate, and now I have all this money. But if I meet somebody who's truly broke, I'm not talking about you not have hundreds of millions, but if I meet somebody who's broke, I think they're an idiot. And I catch myself going, is that bad? Am I elitist? Or do I sit down now and I just say, no, I started lower than you and beat you. How are you poor? You're lazy. There's nobody at home who is too stupid to become rich. Anyone watching this podcast right now, if you were to sit down next to me and I were to say, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, you could do it. But you're too lazy to learn how to do it yourself. And you're too arrogant to listen. It's one of the two. Those are the two most common factors of people. So when I meet people who have truly failed and they pretend to me that they didn't want to fail, I know they're one of the three. And it's usually arrogant. Because when I sit and say to them, you could have got out, they don't say, you're right, I could have got out, I didn't try. They don't do that. They say, no, because it's excuse, someone else's fault, the Matrix's fault, no self-accountability. Oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about anyway. So I catch myself being elitist, and I try very hard not to be, because I don't consider myself a rich man. I'm a poor man with lots of money. And what's scary about being elitist is, if I'm from a Luton council estate, and I see the common man as a lazy idiot, imagine how the elites see us. And then you start to really go down the rabbit hole when you understand these people who've been in charge of the world for a very long time, who own the banks, who believe they're genetically superior to us because why not? Their families always owned the bank. Imagine how they view the common man. You think they give a shit about you or your family or your income or your wages? You think they care about you? You think they're going to make life easier for the common man in the next 10 years as you've just asked? Or are they going to continue to decimate your lifestyle for their own forever profit? There's no light without dark. And especially as these large companies want forever profits, which they do, and they own everything. I don't think many people understand, if you go into Sainsbury's and you look around at the brands, you will struggle to find 10 brands that aren't owned by the same company. The same company that owns Sainsbury's owns every brand. They own everything. So if they want forever profits, which they do, if they can make you poor so they can get richer, they will. If they own all the assets, they want inflation. They don't care about you. They don't care you can't feed your family. Why would they? So, and you can also look at it from a global perspective, which is quite interesting. America was built off the back of World War II. World War II made America rich. But Europe, for the longest time, got rich off the exploitation of second and third world nations. That's how it got rich, by building empires in Africa and Asia, etc.
Colonizing countries.
Yeah, colonizing countries. That's how they got rich. And now we have populations in Europe and in the West, which are decadent, and we want high wages, and we want maternity leave, and we want holiday pay, and we want good working standards, and we want good working hours, and we want nice chairs to sit on. Now we're entitled. And if you're a company and you need slaves, do you want entitled slaves, or do you want slaves who are just going to do their job for low pay? And then you start to understand why immigration's being unchecked on purpose, so they can bring in people to try and work jobs for basically nothing, who don't want standard of living and don't want standard of work. And what they're effectively doing now is, instead of exploiting the second and third world to benefit Europe, the globalists are now decimating Europe on purpose. Instead of destroying the second and third world for the benefit of Europe, they're going to destroy Europe, and that's going to benefit the second and third world. But they're globalists and they don't care. All they care about is forever profits. They'll go live in Saudi. They'll go live in Mumbai. They don't care. They're not tied to the land or tied to the place like the average European is. So if you're the average man in a European country and you're not financially free and you're stuck somewhere in the middle, not only is your life going to get harder, but also the place you live in is going to get worse. Your wages are going to go down. Crime's going to increase so that the people in charge can get their forever profits and avoid all the mess they make. And it's all done purposefully. If I was an average person, I'd be genuinely afraid. I mean, it's easy for me because I have so much money. I can look at the map and go, where is safe? Tokyo, cool. Most people can't do that. They're stuck. And the fact that that doesn't bother them or they don't panic, I find flabbergasting. I mean, the iceberg has struck the Titanic. How long can you have a border where people can arrive by dinghy and throw acid in people's face until your nation has fallen? And how long will you sit there and get hit by endless bills that continue, inflation that wrecks your currency, wages that don't increase, new taxes with ULEZ cameras, crime rates increase? Bro, I said this to Tristan. We were saying how we miss England because we're English in our hearts and part of us miss it. And I was saying, you know what? If I lived in England, I couldn't even protect myself. If you come to my house, there's a big gate and there's pit bulls and there's 4 guys with weapons, guns. You need SEAL Team 6 to get in my house. There's bulletproof doors and I have a gun next to my bed. I'm the final boss. It's gonna be a shootout. In England, I can have all the money in the world. I can go to Radlett. I was looking at a house in Radlett. I'll say it right now, it's 12 million pounds. It was gorgeous. And I thought it's worth 20 million. And I was like, Tristan, if we bought this house, the problem is we couldn't even protect ourselves because eventually someone will work out it's our house. The only way you can protect yourself in the West now is to hide. I was like, we can buy this house, not put it in videos, not put it on social media, not invite girls over, because you know what'll happen? You'll invite a girl over one day and she'll say, I'm coming with my friend Lucy. Next weekend, she's out sniffing coke with some dickhead, and she's like, I was at Tate's house. No, you weren't. Yeah, I was at Tate. I was looking at this picture. Where was it? Here. They now know where your house is.
Look.
Mr. Bugatti, Mr. Diamond Watch. I'm sitting in my Radlett house. There's fucking 25 windows, 6 door entrances. I'm like, Tristan, we can't even hire armed guards. You can't even be rich in England unless you want to hide. I wear a $400,000 watch in Bucharest, Romania. In London, I don't wear it. So we're talking about how the nation's failed. You could be rich in England and you're still not safe. You have to live like a hermit, like a cockroach under a rock and hide. Or maybe you get a chance to call the police before they chop your wife's hands off. Oh, that's great. And there are people there with no money. They're not even rich like me. They have no money. And they're sitting there going, it'll be okay. Maybe if we get Rishi Sunak out and get another one in. No, it won't. No, it won't. It is a failed society. You need God. Revert to Islam and move to Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, none of that will happen to you. And one of the things I prioritize now in my stage of life is safety. I don't see the point in anything if I'm going to end up killed. And if you're going to kill me, at least the Matrix has to kill me. At least make it a cool story. He was telling the truth. He did fun podcasts. They assassinated him. Make it good. I don't want to die because some idiot wanted my watch. And I feel like the whole Western world is that dangerous now. When I go to London, I'm probably the most nervous. I don't know how anyone lives in London without feeling nervous. I'm so nervous all the time. And I've got 3 dudes with me who are 6'8". And then you'll hear about someone get robbed just outside Harrods while you're in Harrods. You're like, how do people live in this city? And they're just living there like, oh, it's not that bad. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I've never had that. This is the capital of the poorest nation in the European Union. I've never had any problems here. How do you have a nation where you're not allowed to be wealthy without hiding? Where you can arrive without a passport? Where they can't catch people who decimate people's faces with corrosive substances? Where there's people in a room, those who are supposed to be designated towards enforcing law and justice, trying to put me in jail because I said women can't park. This whole thing is a clown show. Only God can save us now, my friend. I don't know what the West is going to do. But this clown show is built on the back of the taxes of the hardworking average man. You're the average man. Not only is your life fucked, not only is your future fucked, not only are your children going to be finished, you're paying for this. You are paying for all of it. What planet are we on? The Western world has fallen, and empires rise and empires fall. That's fine. But to sit and try and pretend it hasn't fallen is hubris. It's being an ostrich and sticking your head in the sand. And the smartest thing the average man can do is realize that yes, the Western world's fallen, and 2, you have 10 years to get into the higher class, the higher social mobility class, or you and your bloodline are eternally finished forever.
Thanks for watching. For more motivational content like this, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel.